Yes, yes. I printed out yesterday. It's just a printer. Some scissors. Yes. I hope so.
You know the way of
Yes,
commas,
yes.
that is
Yes.
where you need a half comma, full comma. What is that?
Yes, we got all. Yesterday there was a change.
Hello, test. The city of Tirupati, famously known for the Lord Venkateshwara temple, surrounded by the lush greenery of Tirumala Hills, was ranked 4th in round 2 of the Indian government's Smart City Challenge in 2016. Since then, it has been steadily becoming a hub of education and entrepreneurship.
Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research, Tirupati, is an institute of national importance which was established in 2015 by the Ministry of Human Resource Development, now known as Ministry of Education. This is a great milestone for the city of Tirupati because it is the only city which has both an IIT and an ISA.
The ISA Tirupati campus is located just 5 kilometers away from the Indian Institute of Technology, IIT, Tirupati. The close proximity of these institutes is expected to foster an environment of collaboration, as young minds from across the country will be able to exchange ideas and lead India towards scientific prosperity.
ISA Tirupati has about 980 students, 50 faculty and 40 non-teaching staff. The demographic profile of the students show that we have students from all over the country, and we are happy to say that the gender ratio is almost equal and increasing in favor of girl students every year. Our faculty are known for their expertise in a range of specializations, and the students would indeed benefit from interdisciplinary and holistic education.
Though the programs are offered broadly under the disciplines of biology, chemistry, earth and climate sciences, mathematics, and physics, the institute stays true to the culture of interdisciplinary education and research, and students at every level, be it undergraduate, postgraduate or PhD, have complete freedom to mix and match from among the 150 offered courses to suit their interests. New courses are added to meet the ever-evolving needs of education and research, and all courses are in line with New Education Policy 2020. Academics at ISA Tirupati include carefully designed lab courses held at labs equipped with state-of-the-art facilities. Students are also given access to a vast library of knowledge to support and augment their academic and research work at the institute. What ISA offers to students doesn't stop there. In line with the spirit of collaboration, ISA Tirupati has made ties with a number of national and international institutions. It also has industry partnerships and conducts faculty development programs to ensure their research work addresses current real-world challenges along with making fundamental theoretical advances. A testament to the success of these endeavors is the increasing number of papers being published in various international journals of high repute. Beyond labs and lecture halls, ISA Tirupati has a strong culture of nurturing scientific curiosity and excitement through programs for popularizing science and public outreach, which are open to school and college students. Various symposia and lectures are also organized as part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Moreover, the institute aims to provide its students holistic education through opportunities for community service and social outreach through Unnati, the student outreach arm. The institute further encourages students to take pride and celebrate the part of Indian culture they bring through events like Ek Bharat Shreshtha Bharat. The institute also has various clubs to improve students' collective understanding of subjects and enable them to pursue their passions and hobbies.
As the founding director of ISA Tirupati, I am very delighted to see the progress of the institute during its formative years in the academic, teaching and research. Once the institute moves to new campus by the end of this year and under the inspiring leadership of the director, Professor Shantanu Bhattacharya, I am sure the institute will make great strides. I wish the institute a bright future.
With a first-rate campus and state-of-the-art facilities, Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research at Tirupati nurtures creative and burgeoning thinkers who will lead the nation and the world towards a new scientific era. One more batch of such thinkers are graduating today.
The experience I gained through my PhD program with Women Scientist Fellowship and under the guidance of Dr. V. Aravindan really helped me to drive my career by taking a new assignment at Amaraja Batteries Limited, Hyderabad.
Learning mathematics at ISA Tirupati has been an exciting experience, and it inspired my decision to pursue a PhD in mathematics.
I had endless opportunities for research experience, both within ISA and outside. I went to TU Dresden in Germany for my master's thesis.
The Inter-ISA Cultural Meet is a wonderful platform for showcasing our interests outside academia, and I made the best use of it by participating in music and literature events.
At ISA Tirupati, I really enjoyed learning and playing different sports, as well as participating in various competitions, especially the inter-ISA sports meets.
Being a student at ISA Tirupati has been a complete experience for me. Alongside academics, I also took part in several club activities, including the Spikmeke Virasat series.
I appreciate the institute as well as the faculty members who motivated us to engage in various research projects, which gave us a good amount of experience.
ISA Tirupati provided me with an amazing international platform. In 2019, I traveled to China to participate in Asian Science Camp. In 2022, with the support and guidance from the chemistry department, I secured the TAD-based summer internship.
The experiences and efforts of our graduates have shaped IISER Tirupati that stands tall today, and they will have make a footprint left for the IISER of tomorrow. I wish all who are graduating today the best for their future endeavors, and I call upon our current and future students to join us in our endeavor of creating infinite possibilities. Congratulations, graduates. You have come far, worked hard, and achieved your goal. And now go out there and make your mark on the world. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth convocation function of the Institute is about to commence. The academic procession will now be entering the hall. We request all of you in the hall to please rise and remain standing till all the members in the academic procession are seated. Welcome to the fourth convocation of the Indian Institute of Science Education and Research, Tirupati. I now request Dr. Mohan Kumar, Officer on Special Duty and Registrar in Charge, ISA Tirupati, to commence the proceedings and welcome the gathering.
Good morning to everyone. Today is an important milestone in the academic journey of the students who are present here. Years of hard work and dedication in learning, acquiring knowledge, and research have brought these students to this milestone. We are indeed privileged to have with us Professor Padmanabhan Balaraman, former Director of the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and currently Chair Professor at National Center for Biological Sciences, Bangalore, as the chief guest for the fourth convocation of ISA Tirupati, and we extend a very warm welcome to him for gracing the occasion. We all look forward to listening to his convocation address in a short while. We also welcome our Chairperson Board of Governors, Professor J.B. Joshi, who is also with us to preside over today's convocation function. A hearty welcome to you, sir. We also welcome all the members of the Board, Finance Committee, and the Building and Works Committee who have joined us either in person or online. The Senate of the Institute is a statutory body which guides the academic functioning of the Institute and recommends the award of degrees, prizes, and medals. We have with us on the dais the members of the Senate of ISA Tirupati, with Professor Shantanu Bhattacharya, Director, leading the Senate as the Chairperson. We also extend a warm welcome to our former Director, Professor K.N. Ganesh, who is currently the Dean Academics and Dean Faculty, and all the members of the Senate who are here with us in person and those who have joined us virtually. I would like to welcome in particular Professor K.N. Satyanarayana, Director, IIT Tirupati, who is here with us and is also a member of the Board of Governors of this institute. To the graduating students, we extend a very warm welcome to you all to this function, which is an important landmark in your life. We also welcome our faculty, staff, parents of the graduating students, and other students, and our special guests and invitees who have joined us today in person or through virtual media. We see that we have Professor Vengamma, former Vice Chancellor of SWIMS, here with us. Thank you very much for being with us, madam. And a special welcome to Professor Ambika, who has taken the trouble of coming all the way from ISA Trivandrum. And welcome to Madam Mrs. Girija. We appreciate your being here with us. Thank you. I now request our Chairperson Board of Governors, Professor J.B. Joshi, to declare the fourth convocation open.
I declare the fourth convocation of ISA Tirupati open.
The award of the degrees, prizes, and medals will now commence. We will start with the award of the PhD degrees. On behalf of Dean Academics, I request Dr. Raju Mukherjee, Associate Dean, Doctoral Studies, to present the candidates for award of PhD degrees, and Professor Shantanu Bhattacharya, Chairperson Senate, to admit them.
I, the Associate Dean Doctoral Studies, present to you, sir, 6 students of Doctor of Philosophy who have completed the prescribed academic requirements and have been declared eligible to be awarded the Doctor of Philosophy. I pray that they may be admitted to the said degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as the Director and Chairperson of the Senate of IISER Tirupati, I admit the students presented, including those in absentia, to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with all the honors, rights, and privileges, and expect them to be worthy of the same.
I'll now call out the names of the graduating students being awarded Doctor of Philosophy degrees and appearing in person one by one. Surakaila Tripathi S. He is from the discipline of chemistry and completed his thesis titled Molecular Evolution in the Interstellar Medium and the Possible Role of Metal Ions, therein studied via computations, under the supervision of Dr. Raghunath O. Ramabhadran. Surakaila Tripathi S. Shakamuri Sharad Babu. He is from the discipline of chemistry and completed his thesis titled Aryl Urea Synthons for accessing diverse molecular scaffolds using photoredox catalysis under the supervision of Dr. Gopinath Purushottaman. Mr. Shakamuri Sharad Babu. Divya M.L. She is from the discipline of chemistry and completed her thesis titled Battery Type Electrode Materials for Lithium and Sodium Ion Capacitors under the supervision of Dr. V. Aravindan. Ms. Divya M.L. Subramanian K. He is from the discipline of chemistry and completed his thesis titled Investigations of Electrodes and Electrolytes for Sodium-Ion Batteries under the supervision of Dr. V. Aravindan. Mr. Subramanian K. I'll now announce the names of the graduating students being awarded Doctor of Philosophy degree in absentia and virtually. Mr. K. Aditya, he is from the discipline of physics and completed his thesis titled H1 21 centimeter observations and dynamical models of super-thin galaxies under the supervision of Dr. Arunima Banerjee. Mr. Akash Mandal, he is from the discipline of chemistry and completed his thesis Manganese-1 catalyzed dehydrogenative carbon-carbon and carbon-nitrogen bond formation under the supervision of Dr. E. Balaraman. Thank you, sir.
On behalf of Dean Academics, I now request Dr. Rajesh Viswanathan, Associate Dean Graduate Studies, to present the candidates for the award of the BS, MS, BS, and BSc degrees, and Professor Shantanu Bhattacharya, Chairperson Senate, to admit them.
I, the Associate Dean, Graduate Studies, present to you, sir, 1 MS, 122 BS MS, 4 BS and 3 BSc students, including those in absentia, who have completed the prescribed courses of study. 1 student has been declared eligible to receive Master of Science degree. 122 students have been declared eligible for both the degrees of Bachelor of Science and Master of Science. 4 students have been declared eligible to receive Bachelor of Science degree, and 3 students have been declared eligible to receive BSc degree. I pray that they be admitted to the said degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as the Director and Chairperson of the Senate of IISER Tirupati, I admit the candidates presented, including those in absentia, to the degrees of Bachelor of Science and Master of Science of the Institute with all the honors, rights and privileges, and expect them to be worthy of the same.
I will now call out the names of the graduating students being awarded Bachelor of Science and Master of Science BS-MS degrees first. Rautu Yashwant Yatirajan. Triptesh Kumar Roy. Sai Tejas B. Shubham Kumar. Bora Bhargav Naidu. Tejas Borkar. Pendarkar Rujuta Ashutosh. Nimbalkar Sonali Manohar. Akash Kumar Singh. Rachit Patel. Mahajan Ved Santosh. Amog Desai. Jha Abhinav Krishna. Bhavna. Sandeepani Ghosh. Riya Batra. Dalavai Udbhav Malana. Kirtimai Malik. Adla Zubair. Abhirami Menath, Aparna K, Gayatri Vinod, Madasu Sumanasri, Shashank V, Yukta Ajay, Sushmita Sasikumar, Gopika Sundar PD. She is graduating with BS and MS with distinction. Gayatri K, Arnab Lahiri, Kritika Avadhani, Atul Krishnan PS, Pobati Yashaswini, Sriyukta G. Chirangat, Hari Krishnan R, Uddeshya Pandey, Wajiha UK, Ujjwal Reddy Parvata Reddy, Muhammad Adil Aman, Harish Upadhyay, Khud Akanksha Srihari, Amna Amir Kotam Thamarel, Shirsagar Yogeshwari Asram, Harita K. Sasi, Anjali S. Menon, Hridaya Sundaresan, Joe George, Hemant KN, S. Muhammad Shafiullah, Harshit Makhija, Sushmita Halder, Alisha B.S., Parth Sarthi Behera, Swaroop Pakrisamy graduates with BS and MS with distinction. Prarthana Agarwal graduates with BS and MS with distinction.
I can arrange. You please watch. And then teacher.
Nilufar Shanavas, R. Rajalakshmi, Fanse Atharva Uday, Atira Anil, Munishwar Sanket Ajay, Nida Fatima, Shamil Hussain K.E., Sneha Prakash Yachuri, Poluru Snehit Surya Teja Hanuman, Srihari M.G., Jishnu R., Akila G., Parvati Jayan, Shaurya Pratap Singh, M. Nityashree, Amar Krishna A.S., Lakshmi M.V., Hari Madhav B., E. Lakshmi, Akshaya K, Anaga P, Safa Nasreen VZ, Devika G, Serene Rashid, Jasmal Jalal, R. Anirudh, Umesh Chandra Pandey, Ria Gogte, Manaswini Manisha Mohapatra, Putta Divya, Shubham Singh, Preet Bhanjan Pati, Patil Shekhar Bhanudas, Bosale Suraksha Anil, Akash Das, Aishwarya MH, Velpumadagu Vaishnavi, Joshin John Bijoy, Anita P. Saju, Isha S. Babu, Ashwin A. Pillai, Arunangshu Bora, Harita N, Nandana P, Davin Matthews David, Ladke Mangesh Digambar, Arati Tambi, Arghya Chakraborty, Anjali Singh, Parvati S. Nair, Shinde Swastik Dilip. Merin Babu. Suyambulingam S. Naik Purva Atul. BS degrees Akash Arun Singavi. Bondave Prasad Nandkumar. BSc degree Misala Uma Bharati. BSc degree Pata Aishwarya. I will now announce the names of the graduate students being awarded MS, BS, BSMS and BSc degrees in absentia and virtually. The photograph of the student and his or her degree certificates will simultaneously be displayed on the screen. MS degree M. Anupama Devi. BSMS degrees Rahul Rai, Stephen Sebastian, Surjit, Aradhya Vaze, Lanjevar Yashwan Sankar Rao, Ajit Kumar, Siad R, Chavak Chaitanya Sandeep, Dani Kushi, S. Nandita, Patil Srushti Tukaram, Fardeen Barkat Khan, Yadav Ayush Prasanat, Namita Madhusudanan, BS degrees Kaslod Srujan Kumar Sayalu, Bibhuti Bhushan Jagat, BSc degree Anzira Begum,
Congratulations and best wishes to all graduating students.
Thank you, sir. The Institute Gold Medal is awarded to the student
I now request the Chairperson Board of Governors, Professor J.B. Joshi, to kindly sign the Register of Graduates.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Rajesh Vishwanathan, Associate Dean Graduate Studies, will now present the candidates for award of the Institute's Gold Medal, Silver Medals, and the prize for the best graduating students. I request our chief guest, Professor Padmanabhan Balram, to present the medals and prizes to our students.
The Institute Gold Medal is awarded to the student who tops the BSMS batch by securing the highest cumulative grade point average, CGPA. I present to you, sir, Ms. Pratna Agarwal from the discipline of physics for the award of the Institute Gold Medal in 2023. Pratna Agarwal has an outstanding academic record throughout the BSMS program and tops her batch with a CGPA of 9.7 on a scale of 10 with a specialization in physics. Few of the academic accolades she has received include the C.N.R. Rao Education Foundation Prize for Academic Excellence, 7-time winner of the Institute Academic Excellence Prizes, DST Inspire Awardee, Dard Weiss Internship in Germany, Cambridge Trust and Newnham Scholarship 2023 to study at Cambridge. She did her MS thesis in strain engineering of quantum spin liquids at TU Dresden, Germany with Professor Matthias Voiter and Dr. Stefan Rachel. She is planning to pursue PhD at the University of Oxford in the Department of Theoretical Physics. I request our chief guest, Professor Padmanabhan Balram, to award the Institute Gold Medal to Ms. Pratna Agarwal. The prize for the best graduating student is awarded to the student with excellent performance in academics and extracurricular activities. The award comes with a certificate of merit and prize money. I present to you, sir, Ms. Yukta Ajay from the discipline of physics for the award of the prize for the best graduating student in 2023. Yukta Ajay completed the BSMS program with a CGPA of 8.5 with a specialization in physics. She joined IISER Tirupati with a DST Inspire SHE Fellowship. Few of her all-round accolades include at IISER Tirupati, she has been a part of organizing teams for Abhipranya, Anubhuti, BioVision, Virasat, Spikmake concerts, and being an editorial member for Dhwani, the Institute's cultural magazine. She was an active member of Unnati and has won medals in inter-IISER cultural meets. At IISER Tirupati, she has performed research internships in galactic dynamics with Dr. Arunima Banerjee and in experimental high-energy physics with Dr. Chitrasen Jaina. Her MS thesis was under the guidance of Dr. Dheeraj Pashan in high-energy astrophysics and time-domain astronomy at the MIT Kavli Institute. She will join the Johns Hopkins University this fall 2023 as a doctoral student. I request our chief guest, Professor Padmanabhan Balram, to award the best graduating prize to Ms. Yukta Ajay. The Institute's silver medals are awarded to students who obtain the highest CGPA in a discipline other than the discipline in which the gold medal is awarded. I present to you, sir, Ms. Gopika Sundar PD from the discipline of chemistry for the award of the Institute Silver Medal in 2023. Gopika Sundar PD completed the BSMS program with the highest CGPA of 9.3 among students with a specialization in chemistry. She joined IISER Tirupati with a DST Inspire scholarship. She has received academic excellence prizes in 4 semesters. In addition to that, she has received Dard Wise Fellowship, and in 2019, she represented India as a part of a 20-member team at the Asian Science Camp held in China. She has excelled at Vijayoshi National Science Camps. Her research interests include de novo design of new WW domain mini phosphatases and engineering new protein architectures. She has completed her MS thesis at IISc Bangalore under the supervision of Dr. Jayanta Chatterjee, focused on the design of mini proteins for the inhibition of P53 MD-M2 interactions. I request our chief guest, Professor Padmanabhan Balram, to award the Institute Silver Medal in Chemistry to Ms. Gopika Sundar. I present to you, sir, Mr. Swaroop Pakrisamy from the discipline of Mathematics for the award of the Institute Silver Medal in 2023. Swaroop Pakrisamy completed the BSMS program as a DST Inspire Fellow with the highest CGPA of 9.0 among students with specialization in mathematics. Swaroop has received the Institute Prize for Academic Excellence and excelled at Vijayoshi Science Camps in 2018 at IISc Bangalore. His master's thesis study focused on Kato's inequality and its extensions under Dr. Suman Kumar T. at the University of Hyderabad. He has accepted to pursue a doctoral degree in mathematics at the University of California, Santa Cruz in September, for which he will be receiving the Regents Fellowship from the Mathematics Department at UC Santa Cruz. I request our chief guest, Professor Padmanabhan Balram, to award the Institute Silver Medal to Mr. Swaroop. I present to you, sir, Ms. Anita P. Saju from the discipline of Biology for the award of the Institute Silver Medal in 2023. Anita P. Saju completed the BSMS program with the highest CGPA of 8.8 among students with specialization in biology. She joined IISER Tirupati with a DST Inspire scholarship. Few of the other accolades include a summer research fellowship in 2020 under the Academy of Science and attended the 12th International Conference on Yeast Biology conducted in 2023 at IISER Mohali. For her MS thesis, she studied the systems level understanding of different biological forms of fungi with Dr. Srinivas Chavali at IISER Tirupati. She was a captain of the girls football team and participated in several inter-IISER sports meets. She won the table tennis mixed double championship for the league and conducted girls futsal league at the institute. I request our chief guest, Professor Padmanabhan Balram, to award the Institute Silver Medal to Ms. Anita P. Saju.
Thank you, sir, for presenting the medals and the prizes. We now request our chairperson, Professor J.B. Joshi, to congratulate the medal and the prize winners.
Congratulations to all the graduating students and all the best.
I now request Professor Shantanu Bhattacharya, Director, IISER Tirupati, to present his report.
Good morning. Having joined the Institute on 19th April 2023 as the Director, I am particularly pleased to present this report on the 4th Convocation of the Institute. Starting in 2015 with the first batch of 35 BSMS students only, the Institute has now grown to 742 BSMS students, 160 students who are doing PhD, 60 integrated PhD students, and 22 postdoctoral fellows. Together, we have now 984 in academic residence of the Institute. Come August, with fresh batch of BSMS students admissions this year comprising approximately 200 incoming BSMS students, will have more than 1100 students. The current faculty strength is about 50, much below the approved 1:10 ratio as given in the detailed project report, while the administration, engineering, and support staff is only 41. In January 2023, the Institute has received sanction of 40 additional faculty positions, and we are now in the process of recruitment. The Institute has resumed in-person physical classes from August 2022 onwards. The third convocation of IIACR Tirupati was held on Monday, 18 July 2022. Professor Gagandeep Kang, Fellow of the Royal Society from the Department of Gastrointestinal Sciences at CMC Vellore, was the chief guest in the convocation, which was presided over by our Chairperson of the Board of Governors, Professor J.B. Joshi. 89 BSMS students, of which 88 BSMS and 1 BS degree recipients and 3 PhD students were conferred with the corresponding degrees. The Institute has begun conducting regular in-person hybrid seminar, colloquia, and special lectures from eminent persons. Professor Chandrima Saha, then President INSA, delivered a lecture entitled Musings from a Life in Cell Biology on 12th April 2022. Eastern Ghat Symposium 2022 was organized on conserving biodiversity of the Eastern Ghats, challenges and the way forward on 30th April and 1st May 2022. The Institute organized more than 25 seminars and special lectures by distinguished speakers from India and abroad. Some of them include Professor Christian Foyer, FRS, 14 September 2022, as roles of reactive oxygen species in plant growth and defense. Professor Sujata Ramdorai of the University of British Columbia, Canada, 2nd August 2022, spoke on Galois groups and number theory. Professor Jean-Pascal Sauter from the Laboratory of Chimie de Coordination du CNRS from Toulouse, France, delivered lecture from magnetic anisotropy to molecular magnets on 17th August 2022. Professor Alex Johnson, University of Melbourne, Australia, on 7th September 2022, spoke on improving food security with iron-enriched cereal crops. Professor Roderick Beck's National Technological University, Singapore, spoke on skeptical chemistry, among others, on 23rd September 2022. The Institute also had visits from distinguished scientists representing the Government of India, including Professor Ajay Sood, Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India on 26 September 2022, Dr. G. Satish Reddy, Scientific Advisor to Raksha Mantri on 1st of October 2022, and Dr. Rajesh Gokhale, Secretary, Department of Biotechnology, Government of India on 3rd December 2022. These dignitaries addressed the young researchers and faculty of the Institute and made them aware of the various opportunities of research funding and collaborations as well. During the calendar year of 2022, 160 research papers till date in 2020, approximately 105 research publications have been published by the faculty and students of the Institute in reputed international journals. Some of the journals include JACS, Angu Shemai, Chemical Science, Cell Reports, Nature Communication, etc. The cumulative number of research papers at the end of 2022 is about 650, H index is about 35, and cumulative citations of 5,612 at an average citation of about 9 per paper. The extramural research funding granted to the institute amounted to rupees 13.15 crores during 2022-23. The institute also launched its website, which is timely with the ease of navigation and updated postings on institute's information portal and events. Institute entered into a memorandum of understanding with Sri Padmavati Mahila Vishwavidyalaya, Tirupati on 5th May 2022, which would benefit both the institutions in academic and research collaboration. The institute observed 8th International Day of Yoga on 21st June 2022 with the students, faculty and staff participating in live yoga session conducted in hybrid mode. On this occasion, a talk entitled A Daily Requirement for Balancing Mental and Physical Health by Dr. Subbulakshmi from Mahir, Chennai, and a student-led interactive session on how yoga influences student life positively were organized. The institute conducted several events as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. On the occasion of completion of 75 years of independence on 15th August of 2022, a monumental national flag of 100 feet height was hoisted in this permanent campus in front of the administration building. About 500 students participated in the formation of a human flag. The Sachota Pakawada was conducted from 1st to 15th September 2022 on addressing issues such as VIP references, grievances, pending RTI matters, and clearances of pending audit paras. This was followed by Hindi Pakhwada from 14th to 29th September 2022 with active participation from the staff and the faculty. Awards were given to staff who excelled in various Hindi competitions. To create awareness to help fight polycystic ovary syndrome, PCOS, the institute conducted a PCOS awareness rally on 17th September 2022 with participation of a large number of students. The National Social Service NSS wing of the institute conducted several activities at both transit and permanent campuses. This include Swachh Bharat Abhiyan program on 13th August 2022, blood donation camp on World Donor Day on 14 June 2022, visit to Zilla Parishad High School at Anna Swami Palli, Renigunta, to conduct quiz, essay writing, elocution, drawing, bookmark making competition as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. In the Inter-IIACR sports meet held at IIACR Bhopal during 19 to 26 December 2022, the students from the institute won 1 gold medal, 2 silver medals, and 1 bronze medals in various sports events. Similarly, 68 students from the institute participated in the Inter-IIACR cultural meet held at IIACR Pune from 28 to 30th December 2022. The institute students participated in the international IGEM event held at Paris and bagged a gold medal for the 4th successive time for their project entitled Apta's Tales, a novel aptamer-based diagnostic kit for PCOS, which received a nomination for the Best Diagnostic Project for 2022. Every year, each of the disciplines organize special days with keynote lecture by distinguished scientists, short lectures by faculty and students, and poster sessions. Chemistry Day was celebrated on 29th October 2022 with Professor S. Chandrasekharan from IISc Bengaluru delivering lecture on chemistry for sustainable development. Physics Day was conducted on 15th October 2022 on the theme Astronomy and Astrophysics with Professor P. Ajit from ICTS Bengaluru delivering a lecture entitled Gravitational Lensing of Gravitational Waves, a New Frontier. Biology Day 2022 was conducted on 5th November 2022. The Institute celebrated Janaki Ammal Day on 4th November 2022 with lecture and interaction of faculty, staff and students with Padma Shri Air Marshal Dr. Srimati Padma Bandyopadhyay. After the announcement of Nobel Prizes each year, Institute conducts a lecture series called acronym Nobel Lectures, and in this year the Nobel Evening Lectures were delivered by the faculty of the Institute on 27th October 2022. The third edition of Fit India Freedom Run 3.0 was conducted from 2nd to 31st October in 2022 in the Institute. The staff, students and faculty had participated in 30 minutes of physical fitness in any form. On the occasion of National Education Day on 10th November 2022, Dr. Shivaji Chakraborty of Jadavpur University, Kolkata delivered a lecture on promoting research and innovation in the contemporary times in higher education. Indian Women Mathematics Winter School, IWM Winter School for Young Women in Mathematics, funded by National Board for Higher Mathematics, was conducted by the Institute online with 65 participants during 13th to 23rd December 2022. During this year, the Institute has made some major changes in its academic program. The 5-year integrated BS-MS having the first 2 years core followed by 3rd and 4th year electives and 1-year research project, 2+2+1 model. This will henceforth be restructured to 1.5 years of core, 2.5 years of elective and 1 year of research program, 1.5 plus 2.5 plus 1. The revised structure will help students to start advanced courses 1 semester earlier to gain more depth in their subject of specialization. The courses in semester 4 will help in bridging the gap between levels of basic and advanced courses. The curriculum has been accordingly revised and the restructured program is effective from 2022 batch onwards. In order to align with the National Education Policy of 2020, the Institute has introduced multiple exit options during the 5-year BS-MS program after completing minimum academic requirements at each stage. Terminal certificates and degrees were offered to qualify credit transfer to exiting students. These involved award of Certificate of Science, CIS, after 1 year, Diploma in Science, DIS, after 2 years, Bachelor of Science, BSc, after 3 years, and BS after 4 years, and BS-MS after 5 years. The Institute is registered with the Academic Bank of Credit, ABC. The NEP-based exit option is available for the BS-MS 2021 and prior batches. The construction of permanent campus at Yerpedu is going on in full swing with approximately 89% physical progress and approximately 78% financial progress. 2 blocks of student residence have already been handed over. Staff quarters and administration block have been just completed, and by the middle of August 2023, we anticipate that some of the classrooms will be functionally ready. We anticipate that the entire campus construction will be complete by the end of the year. This year, we have witnessed several of our senior colleagues bidding farewell to the institution, who completed their distinguished service and superannuated. Professor Ramesh Santi, Chair of Biological Sciences, upon selection as Director of the International Center of Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology, ICGB, New Delhi, demitted office on 31st December 2022. Professor G. Ambika, Chair of Physics, superannuated in 2021, and after 2 years as a visiting professor has now left IIACR Tirupati to join as visiting professor at IIACR Trivandrum. Professor D.S. Nagraj, Chair Mathematics, is due to superannuate in July 2023, but he will continue here as visiting professor. Dr. C.P. Mohankumar, Registrar, who superannuated formally on 31st March 2023, is continuing as officer on special duty with full powers of registrar till 21st July 2023. Professor K.N. Ganesh, the founder director, finished his term in April 23 and will continue to be associated as honorary visiting professor even after his moving to JNCSR Bengaluru as National Science Chair Professor instituted by the Department of Science and Technology. It is a matter of great pride for the institute that Professor K.N. Ganesh was conferred with the civilian honor Padma Shri by the Government of India on 26 January 2023. The institute is grateful to these senior colleagues for their guidance and mentorship and leaving their footprints of excellence at IIACR Tirupati, a young institution. The institute places on record the support of Sri Sanjay Murthy, Secretary of Ministry of Education, Sri Rakesh Ranjan, Additional Secretary of Ministry of Education, Sri Priyank Chaturbedi, Deputy Secretary, Ministry of Education, Finance Division of International Finance Division, IFD, and Srimati Soumya Gupta, Joint Secretary of Ministry of Education, for their continuing support to the institute and in particular for their efforts in securing the approval of the new faculty positions. Finally, the institute also expresses its profound gratitude to Professor J.B. Joshi, Chairman, Board of Governors, for his constant guidance, and to all members of the Board of Governors, Finance Committee, Building and Works Committee, and Senate for their advice in the governance of the institution. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Bhattacharya, for presenting the report on the Institute's activities. I now request Professor J.B. Joshi, Chairperson, Board of Governors, IISER Tirupati, to deliver his address.
Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Balram, Director Professor Shantanu Bhattacharya, Professor Ganesh, Dr. Mohan Kumar, members of various authorities in the institute, faculty, non-teaching staff, parents of the graduating students, and my dear students. You must have decided to do something in your future and aspiring for successes, grand successes. Perhaps some of you may be thinking of joining academics. Wherever you go, the qualities required are more or less the same. I now indicate some of them for academic careers. Typically, an academician imagines that good research can happen only when there is a good laboratory space, excellent facilities in terms of equipment, sophisticated equipment, including analytical equipment, great laboratory, and internet, infinite internet, and very good students. And perhaps then only good research can be done. What I want to bring to your kind attention that for very good research, comparable to anywhere in the world, practically none of these are required. These are useful, but these are not mandatory. I wish to give you one example of Michael Faraday. You may be knowing the story, but let me repeat the story. He came from very poor family, and his father was Smith. Very poor. He was third. His health was also not keeping well. His father's health was also not keeping well. And 5 brothers and sisters, because of the poverty, they could not take education. He studied up to 9th standard and he had to leave the education. I repeat this sentence. All of us who are graduating today, I'm sure you have completed 9th standard. He completed 9th standard and he took a job. What job he took? Is an assistant to the bookbinder. The only difference between all the assistants to the bookbinder and himself was he was reading the book before binding. Knowing his sincerity, the owner of bookbinding company elevated him to a new bookshop in London, city of London, and that was gold mine for Faraday. He started reading the books. Of course, he was doing the job sincerely, and slowly, one by one, he started and completed reading these books. In London, all of you know that there is a Royal Society. And Royal Society, they arrange one lecture every Friday evening. So he heard lectures, a 4 lecture series by Professor, just one second. Professor Humphrey Davy. He heard all those lectures, he took notes, and in a 300-page notebook, he wrote the summary, what is that I have understood, and went to Professor Davy, requesting him to see whether I have understood your subject. Professor Davy read that notebook overnight and called Faraday the next day morning. And he praised so much that Faraday said that, sir, I don't need praise, I need a job. He took up a job as a laboratory assistant, washing floors, cleaning tables, cleaning glassware, shifting files from one place to director's place to some other place. Again, there was a difference between him and other lab assistants or the scientists. Scientists used to come for work at 9:30 morning and leave at 5 o'clock. So 9:30 morning to 5 o'clock, he will do the job which was assigned to him. 5 o'clock onwards, he will do his research on his own. When he was reading books, one book which he liked the most was Encyclopedia Britannica, total encyclopedia. So there were science sections and some results of some hypotheses were reported. So his first job was to revalidate whatever is written in Encyclopedia Britannica. Slowly he became expert as an experimentalist, and then later on you know that how many inventions he has made in electromagnetism and electrolysis. Einstein, he kept his full-size photograph in his library, and before going to office, he was standing in the front of Faraday's photograph to concentrate himself. So, what Einstein said, if Nobel Prize was existing, then Faraday would have got 6 Nobel Prizes. What I'm telling you is for every job, we expect something: good laboratory, good space, good students, good library, good sophisticated equipment. But what is required is concentration of mind, peace of mind. That is mandatory. All these other equipment are definitely useful, helpful, but one can do the experiment if one can concentrate. And this concentration comes, and next 2-3 sentences are very important. That is, if you have complaints in life, complaint about mother, father, brother, sister, friends, college, rain, no rain, yes rain, flood, there are so many possibilities that one can worry about and keep on complaining with friends and sisters. And those who complain can never be successful in life. Please note that try to become complaintless. And the second point is Nature Journal, all of us know. And they carried out a survey in India regarding the science productivity in India and what is the efficiency, time efficiency of people. They reported that the scientist efficiency in India is 2%, and 98% time is wasted. They think about the promotions, awards, fellowships of different academies, and they are just behind that. And if one promotion is denied, then they become unhappy throughout the life. They destroy their career, they make their own family also unhappy, and it is the almost end of the career. So why I gave example of Faraday, he was, as I told you, he was a 9th standard student. Then the university offered him a PhD degree. He said that I don't need a PhD degree, I'm continuing. Then he was offered fellowship of the society. He denied that fellowship. Later on he got. He was offered, first of all, a big honor by the Queen, and he said that I don't need any honor. Please try to understand the different mindsets. What he said is, when I die and you put me in tomb, then write one line on the tomb. A very happy man is lying here. Why a scientist becomes famous or comes something extraordinary through his thought process or through his writing is he was a very happy man. No complaint, no complaint. So my suggestion or request or appeal to all the graduating students, the first thing first, don't have any complaint in life. Be smiling all the time. Nothing happens. Everything is all right and good. The second is the time efficiency, which that Nature report said. I request you to buy one diary and write down every hour what you have done. Need not show to anybody, but at the end of the week on Saturday, read and introspect what exactly you have done. How much was really creative work and how much was stress to the mind. Keep on doing it. And I promise you that if your efficiency goes to just 30%, you will get Padma Bhushan. If you give more and make it 100%, you will become Gautam Buddha. So 30%, 35%, 40% that you can always acquire. Thank you very much.
I now request Professor J.B. Joshi, Chairperson, Board of Governors, to introduce our chief guest, Professor Padmanabhan Balram, Chair Professor, National Center for Biological Sciences and former Director, ISC Bangalore, and also to request the chief guest to deliver the convocation address.
I am very pleased to introduce my dear friend, Professor Padmanabhan Balram. He is a distinguished Indian chemical and structural biologist and a former director of the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. He is a recipient of the third highest Indian civilian honor of Padma Bhushan in 2014, the TWAS International Prize in 1994, and Bruce Merrifield Award in 2021. He obtained his PhD from Carnegie Mellon University, Pittsburgh, and had a postdoctoral stint at the Department of Chemistry, Harvard University. On return to India, he joined the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, as a lecturer and became full professor in 1986. Thereafter, he became director in 2005 and remained director for 10 years. Professor Balram has made outstanding contributions towards the understanding of the structure and function of voltage-gated transmembranes on peptide channels. Professor Balram's extensive contributions to design and synthesis of the model peptides, particularly disulfides, provided a means for developing molecular models for redox proteins containing active disulfides loops. His contributions in the area of biological membranes and in developing fluorescent probe methodology for examining membranes and their structure are highly significant. Professor Balram is a world leader in the deployment of nuclear magnetic resonance NMR spectroscopy for the elucidation of self-assembly motifs of oligopeptides. More recently, he is employing mass spectroscopy for various structure function studies that have useful implications in chemical ecology. Professor Balram is well known for his excellent oration with impeccable diction, inspiring generations of students as a role model. He enhanced the status of the journal Current Science through his thought-provoking but well-orchestrated editorial articles on various academic and scientific policy-related issues. He has served in various highest policy-making government bodies of education, science, technology, and biotechnology departments. He received his Bhatnagar when he was 32, and that is exceptional achievement in India. He's a fellow of all the academies in India, including the World Academy of Science. I request Professor Balram to give his address. Professor J.B. Joshi, Chairperson, Board of Governors, the Director, Professor Shantanu Bhattacharya, the former Director, Professor K.N. Ganesh, members of the Senate, guests, faculty, students, and most importantly, the graduating batch of students who are present. It's a privilege for me to be with you at this fourth convocation of ISA Tirupati. And I must begin by congratulating, my warmest congratulations and best wishes to all the students who are graduating today, and also to their families for whom this is the most important day. You know, in most convocations, the chief guest speaks quite early in the convocation. So the students are usually all very quiet, because they're going to get their degrees and medals much later. Now, in this convocation, I find that the order has been slightly changed, and the chief guest comes after you've got your degrees and all your medals. And therefore, I'm sure you're in a celebratory mood. I noticed that one of the students, actually, after he got his degree, did this, rather like Virat Kohli celebrating after a century. So, you will have to bear with me a little bit before you get the truly celebratory phrase of the convocation outside this hall. In coming to this convocation, I asked myself what I should talk to you about, even as your minds are dominated by two conflicting emotions: the prospect of leaving an institution where you've spent some of the most enjoyable years of your life. As you get older, you will find that the most enjoyable years of your life were those carefree days back in college and university. Then, of course, you have the excitement of anticipating a new chapter in your life which is about to begin. I had the opportunity of having a ringside view of the processes that led to the birth of the ISAs in 2006. Their establishment was driven by the recognition that it was important to embed undergraduate science education in an ambience where research was very much a part of the environment. Why is this? After all, it is the scientific advances of the last 2 centuries taught everyone that science is an important subject, because the coronavirus was really understood and tackled with the tools of the biological and medical sciences. There are some words which emerged during the COVID-19 pandemic: RT-PCR, rapid antigen tests, aerosol transmission, mathematical modeling. Sometimes RT-PCR was even known to those people who are well past the age of 80 and who have probably never studied. Everyone had heard of the virus. More recently, artificial intelligence and ChatGPT are subjects of everyday conversation. Coming to this convocation, I was thinking that 56 years ago, when I graduated from the Ferguson College in Pune and went out into the world with a bachelor's degree, it was indeed a different world. 37 years ago, when I reached the high point of any academic career, that is, to become a professor, the world around me was still largely as it was in the 1960s. But in this interregnum, between the 1960s and the 1980s, unknown to me, major revolutions were underway in science. These upheavals spanned a range of disciplines,
genome sequencing and genetic engineering in biology, the explosion of computer technologies and the communication revolution, the internet, Google, and cell phone transformed the way we live. These technological advances rested on fundamental breakthroughs in physics, chemistry, biology, material science, mathematics, and computer science. Often the result of decades of painstaking research. Rarely were they that blinding flash of insight that makes science look glamorous from the outside. Think of the gene sequencing technologies. Reflect on the lithium battery, so central to our lives today, or the electronic processes that drive all our devices and many more. You will realize that science and technology are inseparable. Even the seeds of Google's PageRank algorithm can be found in the scientific literature of the 1950s, when Eugene Garfield laid the foundations for the web of science, ushering in the age of scientometrics. He wrote a very famous paper called Citation Indexes for Science, a new dimension in documentation through association of ideas. So when you look back, you find many things have changed, but many things have changed unknown to you, and suddenly the advances are upon us. All of these are the results of investments in basic research. And the long investments in basic research are best done with public funds. Yours is a publicly funded institution. It is therefore important that governments across the world, and certainly governments in India, must take the long view of science, an approach that is indeed difficult in times of floundering economies. Captains of industry, driven by the imperatives of corporate progress, will generally be cautious in investing in basic research. Especially if you're confronted with an audience which doesn't know any science, you will be asked this question: what is science? Sometimes you might, as I have done, ask yourself the question and seek the answer. You might answer, and I have done this, that science is the study of nature. At the moment you say science is the study of nature, a child will turn around and ask you, what is nature? So now instead of defining science, you have to define nature. The best answer that I have found is an editorial which appeared in the very first volume of the journal Nature, 1869. And the editorial was commissioned by the journal which was just beginning, and the biologist Thomas Huxley was asked to write this editorial. Huxley did not write the editorial. Instead, what Huxley did was he translated from the German an essay written by the poet von Goethe, and I read his words. He defines nature. He says, nature, we are surrounded by her, embraced by her, powerless to penetrate beyond her, and powerless to see all part of nature. It is not surprising, therefore, that the two most influential journals in science are called Nature and Science. You think of the subjects that you have studied. Physics and biology are with you all the time, although you may not choose to recognize this fact. Nothing in this world, including yourselves, is divorced from chemistry. Some years ago, there was an intriguing judgment to the Bombay High Court which declared that steam is not a chemical. In response to this, the Royal Society of Chemistry offered a prize of £1 million to anyone producing a material that is non-chemical. That offer, I believe, is still open, and therefore some of you might actually try to get this £1 million. But if you think about it a little bit, you will find that nothing around you, including yourselves, can really be non-chemical. although once in a while you will find that Patanjali will sell you a chemical-free detergent. Of mathematics, I can do no better than remind you that Galileo once remarked, or he's reported to have remarked, that mathematics is the language in which God wrote the universe. If you paraphrase Galileo, then I might add that chemistry is the language in which nature wrote the book of life. The biochemist Arthur Kornberg aptly described chemistry as the lingua franca of the biological and medical sciences. And it is, of course, one of the sad facts of Indian higher education that chemistry is not a subject that is taught very much in the study of medicine. Science requires tools, and sometimes we underestimate the importance of technology in driving science. The theoretical physicist Freeman Dyson noted that science is often driven by new technologies rather than by new concepts. In the 17th century, two inventions, the telescope and the microscope, forever altered our view of the world. When Galileo pointed the telescope skywards, he opened the field of cosmology, until then restricted by human vision. When Leeuwenhoek put a slide with dirty water under a microscope, he discovered microorganisms, little living things which you could not see with the naked eye. He had uncovered the vast science of microbiology, a field which has really impacted public consciousness during the years of the pandemic. Tools are also discovered when scientists make observations that have far-reaching conclusions. Pasteur's classical resolution of tartaric acid opened the field of stereochemistry with its wide-ranging impact on biochemistry. Fleming's serendipitous discovery of penicillin is another oft-cited example which ushered in the age of antibiotics. But I want to mention two 20th century, or I should say one of them is an early 20th century discovery, the others much later, separated by a span of 7 decades, which revolutionized medicine and made diagnostic radiology indispensable for clinical practice. Both came from physics. The first was Röntgen's discovery of X-rays at the dawn of the century. Many of you would have read of this famous story of Röntgen asking his wife to come in and put her hand in the X-ray beam and get the image recorded on a photographic plate. And when this was done, she saw the skeletal impression of her hand. And what was her reaction? She said, "I have seen death." And then, of course, the doctors realized immediately that you could now image bone. But when I was doing my PhD many, many years ago, more than 50 years ago, the second advance happened when Paul Lauterbur took 2 tubes of water, concentric tubes, put them in an inhomogeneous magnetic field, and imaged the 2 tubes. We all thought there was no use for this experiment because, after all, we know that you have put 2 tubes of water. This was the first magnetic resonance imaging experiment, and with it, the field of MRI was born. Can there be better examples to argue the case for basic science? But those amongst us who always marvel at the wonders of nature have asked the question, where did everything we see around us come from? For example, when I drove from Bangalore to Tirupati, you see all the hills and you begin to see those characteristic features of this part of the country, those boulders which lie one on top of the other. These are among some of the oldest structures on Earth. When you think about these things, you sometimes get questions which cannot always be answered. You get questions on the origins of the universe, questions on the origins of life on Earth. Remember that all the natural elements in Mendeleev's periodic table were the Earth's inheritance when it was born. I might tell Professor Vijay Mohanan Pillai, who told me in the morning that we were now going to mine lithium to make lithium batteries. All the lithium on Earth is what the Earth got when it was born. There's no more lithium. So many generations later, if you've used up all this lithium, you will either have to recycle it or stop using lithium batteries and maybe discover the sodium battery. Nucleosynthesis, which produces the elements, is the prerogative of the stars. There's a book which I read many years ago called The Ascent of Man. This is a magisterial survey of both scientific and cultural evolution by Jacob Bronowski. And he describes the formation of carbon. He says, in all the stars, there are going on processes which build up the atoms one by one into more complex structures. Matter itself evolves. The word comes from Darwin and biology, but it is the word that has changed physics in my lifetime. Bronowski goes on to talk about the formation of carbon. He says carbon is formed when 3 helium nuclei collide for 1/1,000,000 of a millionth of a second, 10⁻⁻12 of a second. And then he says every carbon atom in every living creature is the result of such a wildly improbable collision. What this tells you is that life and biology are indeed improbable, a chance event in our solar system's evolutionary history. Despite this, it is Mendeleev and Darwin who struggle to retain their position in our textbooks for high school. After centuries of science, can one list the most important achievements? As freshly minted graduates and some faculty tempered by experience, you might well try. Here I must quote the always eminently quotable physicist Richard Feynman. He used to give this immortal introductory undergraduate course at Caltech. And in the Feynman lectures, Volume 1, Chapter 1, you will find Feynman starts. He asks a question. If in some cataclysm all of scientific knowledge were to be destroyed and only one sentence passed on to the next generation of creatures, what statement would contain the most information in the fewest words? So if you were to start building up the entire edifice of science, what would be one useful sentence? Feynman asks this question and he answers it. He says, I believe it is the atomic hypothesis or the atomic fact, or whatever you wish to call it, that all things are made up of atoms. So that's what Feynman considered to start building up the edifice of modern science once again. He goes on, of course, to describe the van der Waals force when you squeeze atoms into close contact with one another. But you might ask another question. What is the cataclysm that worried Feynman at that time? It was in the 1960s. It was the height of the Cold War. And what was there was the fear of the nuclear exchange and a nuclear war. Ironically, the cataclysm that must have occupied Feynman's thoughts in the 1950s and 60s appears to have once again emerged. You see, with all the things that have been happening now in the Ukraine and elsewhere, we frequently hear this problem of nuclear threats. And this, of course, is something that one must think about all the time. I just read last week, or 2 days ago, possibly on a Sunday, I read that there's a movie being released in India, maybe today, tomorrow, called Oppenheimer. Those of you who haven't much knowledge about the events which led to the atom bomb in the 1940s should well go and see this movie because it has an extraordinarily good review. In the world of geopolitics, there is little time to wonder about the fragile thread by which life hangs on Earth. The importance of preserving the natural world, which of course includes all of us, even as unsustainable consumption and development threatens the new natural order. You must worry about sustainability, you must worry about conservation, in addition to worrying about geopolitics. But what is the most important advance of the 20th century science? In the year 99-2000, when the millennium was changing, the century was changing, Nature, the journal, commissioned a series of essays, and one essay which I read then has remained in my mind. It is not something that you would expect. This was written by the Canadian environmental scientist Václav Smil. He argued that the most important scientific advance of the 20th century was the Haber-Bosch process for the industrial synthesis of ammonia. Now, you would, of course, said quantum theory, if you're a physicist, the DNA double helix, if you were a biologist. And here is someone saying that the Haber-Bosch process was the most important discovery. It turns out, of course, that all of us have studied the Haber-Bosch process, hated it when we studied it, and forgotten it shortly thereafter. This was, of course, the production of ammonia from atmospheric nitrogen and hydrogen under high pressure, high temperature, catalysis, and so on. Why is this important? It's important because the synthesis of ammonia led to the synthesis of urea, which is the first fertilizer. And it is urea which really catalyzed the first agricultural revolution of the 20th century. Millions of lives which would have been otherwise lost to famine were saved because of the industrial synthesis of ammonia. Agriculture was transformed by chemistry. The second agricultural revolution of the 20th century, which is the Green Revolution, which is better known, is due to biology. It was driven by the fact that by now one had understood a great deal about breeding, and one had got better and better strains of crops to grow under difficult environmental conditions. Today you will find that there are two threats, and they are imminent. The first is the specter of food scarcity, and today it turns out that food security measures are crumbling in many countries as a consequence of the ongoing war in Ukraine. Even yesterday, Mr. Putin has once again created yet another problem. The second, of course, is, along with this, you always have the old Cold War bogey of a nuclear exchange. These threats promise to unsettle the global order, thereby denying human populations the benefits accrued by centuries of scientific advance. I'm coming towards the end, and I want to introduce you to a book which some of you might have already read, called Sapiens, by the Israeli historian Yuval Harari. He traces the evolution of mankind. He asks a very interesting question, which I paraphrase. And the question is this: when in the course of human evolution does human behavior begin to disregard biological imperatives that dominate animal behavior? Remember, we are all animals, and a long time ago we lived and behaved like animals. We hunted for our food, we reproduced, and we were happy. Now, of course, we have advanced enormously, and civilization apparently has made us much better. Harari's words, the cognitive revolution, that is the point at which you began to think, is the point when history declared its independence from biology. The immense diversity of imagined realities that sapiens invented and the resultant diversity of behavior patterns are the main components of what we call cultures. Remember that everything, religion is an invention of the human mind. Animals do not have religion. And therefore, you must ask the question, at what point does history and biology really begin to differ? Once cultures appeared, they never cease to change and develop. And these unstoppable alterations are what we call history. And he says that from the cognitive revolution onwards, historical narratives replace biological theories as our means for explaining the development of Homo sapiens. To understand the rise of Christianity or the French Revolution, it is not enough to comprehend the interactions of genes, hormones, and organisms. It is necessary to take into account the interaction of ideas, images, and fantasies as well. Many of you, if you look at Harari's book, you may be dismayed by the size, but I must draw your attention to the fact that Harari's book is now out for children. I have it with me in my hotel room here. And he attempts to answer the question, how did human beings take over the world? And this has happened over a period of 10,000 years. Now, if you look in India, we are arguing, fighting about things that happened 3,000 years ago or 4,000 years ago, or sometimes things which happened 1,000 years ago. But on the grand scale of evolutionary history, from the birth of the earth to now, it is 4.6 billion years. And this is what science actually studies. Today, comparative genomics tells us that human beings are a minor branch in the tree of life, budding from the broader branch of eukarya. Life on Earth is dominated by the microbial branches, archaea and bacteria. Our closest neighbors on this tree are chimpanzees, rats, mice, pigs, horses, cattle, sheep, and dogs. Yet we battle about cattle, sheep, pigs, all of them. There is a certain comforting unity in biology. Yet, human history, driven by civilizational influences and the evolution of culture, appears to be sadly divisive. What have the last 2-3 years taught us? The coronavirus has breached all political, religious, and ethnic boundaries, reminding us that politics and religion, two favorite pastimes worldwide, afford no protection against a force of nature. Why do I draw your attention to such a disparate group of subjects? It is because of the environment, climatic, social, and political, in which we live today. Some reflection on the roles of science in understanding nature may allow us to introspect on the course of human history, which attempt to rationalize why the world today is the way it is. Science is a deeply humbling subject, and every day we are reminded of our imperfect understanding of even the subjects of our daily research. It is this humility that I hope you have learnt at ISA. It will go a long way in guiding you in the future. There are two qualities that will stand you in good stead in whatever you wish to do: resilience and imagination. In research, and indeed in many other walks of life, failure is more common than success. Overcoming the fear of failure is the first step towards success. Let your imagination take you forward. It has been a privilege to address you, and may I wish all of you the very best in the years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Balram, for your inspiring and thought-provoking convocation address to our young graduates. As a token of our appreciation and to take back memories of your participation in the convocation function, on behalf of our institute, the director would present to you a memento. We now request Professor K.N. Ganesh, Founder, Director, and Dean Academics, to present a memento to Professor J.B. Joshi, Chairperson, Board of Governors. The Director and Chairperson of the Senate will now administer the exhortation to the graduating students. All the graduating students in the hall are requested to please rise for the exhortation.
Dear graduating students, direct your knowledge and intellectual attainment in the pursuit of truth. Be honest in thought, deed, and word while discharging the duties of your profession. Devote your time for the well-being of the society and respect the dignity of the individual. Uphold the values of integrity and scholarship at all times. Be worthy of your alma mater and acclaim its dignity and honor. Strive for the unity, integrity, and progress of our country and mankind at large.
Thank you, Professor Bhattacharya. The graduating students may now take their seats. I now request Dr. Mohan Kumar, Registrar in Charge, ISER Tirupati, to propose the vote of thanks.
We have now come to the conclusion of the fourth convocation of our institute, and it is my duty to acknowledge and express our gratitude to many people who have made this happen. Our chief guest of today's convocation function, Professor Padmanabhan Balram, readily accepted our invitation to be the chief guest for this convocation and consented to deliver the convocation address in spite of other pressing demands on his valuable time. We are sure, sir, that your words would be a guiding light for the graduating students. We sincerely thank you for accepting our invitation to be the chief guest, for your gracious presence here in person, and for delivering a truly interesting, inspiring, and thought-provoking convocation address emphasizing the importance of science, research in science, nicely laced with humor and interesting examples. Thank you, sir. Our chairperson, Professor J.B. Joshi, has always been a source of constant support and guidance to the Institute and has kept his promise to be with us and come here in person. We thank you, sir, for presiding over this convocation and sharing your thoughts and good wishes with the graduating students. The story of Michael Faraday and the 2 points regarding not complaining or being complaintless, and also the efficiency of use of time, I'm sure, will guide these students. We also thank Madam Mrs. Joshi for her gracious presence here. We acknowledge and appreciate the support provided by the Ministry of Education, Government of India, to ISER Tirupati. We thank Professor Shantanu Bhattacharya, Director, for his support, advice, and the confidence in all of us, which has enabled the planning and execution of this convocation function meticulously today. Thank you, sir. We also thank Madam Swati Bhattacharya for her gracious presence in this function. Our sincere thanks are also due to Professor K.N. Ganesh, the founder director, and at present, the Dean Academics and Dean Faculty, for having led this institute since 2015 and up to 19th April 2023 with distinction, commitment, and grace, and also for the confidence that he reposed in all of us and the unflinching support to all the faculty, staff, and students. Thank you, sir. Though you will be leaving ISER Tirupati very shortly, we are sure that your mentorship for this young institute, still in its nascent stage, and continued association will nurture it to greater heights. To the graduating students, you need not look any further than the dais to see a more distinguished gathering. We have 3 Padma awardees on the dais today. The chief guest, the chairperson, and Professor Ganesh. I would like to thank all the members of the statutory bodies of ISER Tirupati, ISER Council, Board of Governors, Finance Committee, the Senate, and the Building and Works Committee for their leadership and guidance. We thank Professor K.N. Satyanarayana, Director, IIT Tirupati, who is also a member of the Board of Governors, and also we thank, through you, sir, the faculty and staff of IIT Tirupati for their assistance, cooperation, and collaboration with ISER Tirupati in academics, research, and the support provided whenever we needed it. Our special thanks are due to the students of the Institute, and in particular we congratulate the graduating students of the PhD program and the graduating students of the BSMS 2018 batch on the successful completion of your academic programs. We wish you all the very best in your future endeavors. We are confident that you will excel and distinguish yourself in your professional career and also bring laurels to your family and the alma mater. I compliment the parents and guardians of all the students who have joined us today, and in person and online. We appreciate your understanding, cooperation, and the confidence that you have reposed in this institute. The faculty and staff of the Institute need special mention for their untiring efforts in successfully completing the academic curriculum and guiding the research of the graduating students. We acknowledge the contributions of the academic section of the Institute, which manages the life cycle of students from A to C, that is from admission to convocation, ably led by the Associate Deans, Deputy Registrar, and staff of the academic section. Our Dean Research and Development and the chairs provide leadership, mentoring, and constant guidance to the faculty, students, and staff. We thank all of them for the support in organizing this prestigious event. We thank the Government of Andhra Pradesh and the senior officials of the Government of Andhra Pradesh and all the district administration officers led by the Collector and the Joint Collector, the Municipal Commissioner, TUDA, and the TTD for their cooperation and support. This entire event could not have been made possible without the excellent, committed, and diligent teamwork of administrative, technical, and engineering staff, led by the Deputy Registrars, Assistant Registrars, Engineers, Wardens, and the Medical Assistance team, led by the Medical Officer and nurses. We specifically need to acknowledge the dedicated, wholehearted, and untiring work put in by the whole team of housekeeping staff, drivers, and security staff, whose committed efforts have made the smooth conduct of this event possible. The efforts, guidance, and inputs of the various committees of the Institute were also important and useful for the conduct of this event, and we acknowledge all their contributions. I would like to once again express our gratitude to one and all who are here with us in person and online, and who continue to work with us in the journey of ISER Tirupati towards creating infinite possibilities and achieving excellence. Thank you. I now request our Chairperson, Board of Governors, Professor J.B. Joshi, to declare the 4th convocation closed.
I declare the 4th convocation of ISER Tirupati closed.
Request everyone to please rise for the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा छल जल भितरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
All are requested to please remain standing till the academic procession leaves the hall. Thank you all for making the 4th Convocation at IISER Tirupati a grand success. All of you have a great day, and at this point, we invite all our guests, parents, and students for lunch in the hostel premises, and I request the volunteers to please guide all of them. Thank you.